Welcome to another Initial Impressions, the series where I take a look at the new employees list of Dirty Bomb Mercs. So with the sky darkening and a rumble from the distance, the weighty visage of Thunder flashes into view. We'll take a look at the newest member of the team. We'll discuss some of his upsides, his downsides, and I'll tell you whether or not he's worth your hard-earned money. So, the new man in town is of the Assault class Persuasion, so think Fragger. But he's a bit slower and has a touch more health too. The visual design of Thunder is also quite reminiscent of Fragger. He has a large backpack, even larger than Fragger's, and that makes his hitbox feel really rather chunky to say the least. Just like Mr. F, he also has a default machine gun, and this is a new addition to the game, in form of the MK46. It's almost the exact opposite of Fragger's K121. It's fast firing, accurate initially until it blooms, and doesn't do anything like the sort of damage per shot. Think of this as the machine gun version of the Arrrrgh SMG. In addition to that new MK46, Thunder also has loadout cards featuring the Timic and Stark AR. That new MG initially seemed underpowered, until you understood that it isn't the longer range weapon that the K121 is. Getting up close and personal, use that huge 80 round magazine and you can really string a number of kills together. Though in my experience, the MG didn't really suit Thunder, much in the same way that the Arrrrgh seems to suit the likes of Proxy and Phoenix, that higher speed helping you to pick your moments, close in on the targets before releasing a deluge of bullets. The slower nature of Thunder made the MK46 almost feel like someone else's weapon. Further underlining to that point came when I decided to give the Timic a run too. Thunder instantly became a more manageable proposition. That speed was less of an issue, and you could project damage better than with his normal machine gun. I can't help thinking he'd suit the still better than the Timic M4 rifle even more. So the main part of the show, ironically for Thunder, is a flashbang or concussion grenade. This grenade disorientates and annoys enemies, forcing them to post on Reddit. Haha, only joking, well of course only sort of. When you unleash this grenade, as long as enemies are close enough and looking in the grenade's direction, they will suffer vision loss and some movement penalties. This is your opportunity to rush in and give them a good going over. Unfortunately, this is where I feel Thunder currently earns the title of Poor Fragger. There are precious few moments where I wouldn't have preferred to be running Fragger. That rush in after your conch grenade, well, Fragger runs faster and has the wonderful M4. Plus, wouldn't you prefer to wound some of those teammates via a cooked grenade instead? You may even kill one enemy outright. Compounding this, you don't seem to earn much XP from Thunder either. He isn't a support, so his assault characteristics, again like Fragger, need to be tip-top if you're going to earn that XP. But you get a dribbling 10 XP for concussing an enemy, and a bit more for temporarily disabling an enemy deployable. There's no equivalent health insurance for stunning an enemy that subsequently is killed by a teammate. Sorry to talk about Fragger again in a video about Thunder, but I think it's important to analyse the reason why Thunder currently feels weak in this role. Fragger has a high skill ceiling, but he's also accessible to newer, lower skill players. In the semi-recent changes to Fragger, he was reduced to one frag grenade, but a much shorter cooldown. This meant lower skilled players couldn't pepper an area with grenades, but higher skilled players were rewarded for accurate timing and placement. Those new players could wound with a frag and then follow up rush in to finish the kill. With Thunder, the concussion grenade has no intrinsic value without the follow-up attack. This is an entry weapon, but not one that damages opponents. Also, its effects are reduced if they are looking a different way or if they're further away. So on entering a room, it's difficult to know what the state of the opponents are. Who is sort of concussed, who is very concussed, who is about to headshot you instantly without any concussion effects at all. All you know is they're all probably full health. Also, unlike the frag grenades, there's differing feedback of information to the player. If you've got a kill with a frag grenade, obviously you know what that means. Or maybe you just got hit markers. Still, you know there's a wounded player in there. With a conch grenade, your peripheral vision can't really read the XP feed, that's the bit below the crosshair, to know what the effect it has had. There's no solid red, of course, to show a kill, because a concussion can't kill a player. This may be contentious, but the concussion effect on players also feels quite short when you're playing Thunder. I know, it doesn't feel that way when you're the one being concussed, but that duration isn't the payoff for the concussion grenade not doing any health damage. You don't often concatenate a room and then pick up more than a couple of kills. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I almost think that the attributes of Fragger suit Thunder's role more than he does. The extra movement speed helps the concussion follow-up attack, and closing that distance to use that new MG46. Thunder has more health and moves slower, so he suits the slower, heavy-hitting, long-range nature of Fragger's K121 machine gun too. So, let's sum up. Am I saying I think you should reach into your electronic pocket and hand over some cash for Thunder? Well, full disclosure, the reason why this video is entitled Initial-ish Impressions is because normally I do these videos faster after the Merc is released. When I did play Thunder on release, he had a number of bugs, not least concussing teammates and hitting opponents with mouse sensitivity effects, so my first impressions weren't great. Then I heard that Splash Damage was going to look at these bugs, so I decided to wait and see what that hotfix delivered. So, although I've focused on balance and implementation issues in this video, I'm actually more upbeat now on Thunder than I was on initial release. I'm not saying that you should rush out and buy him, but I'm hoping that with some continued changes, he can be turned into a viable proposition. Fundamentally, I think the concussion grenades needs to have more value, both in XP terms and utility they provide the player. Maybe concussed enemies take more damage? Something in that direction would help teammates too, and coordination with other abilities could lead to some interesting gameplay. I also think there's room to tune Thunder almost on the opposite side of Fragger. He should be maybe even faster than Fragger with lower health. That way his rushing mentality would be played out in his attributes in terms of speed. If you like this video, please hit that thumb up button. Also, why not click that subscribe button too? It's free and it helps me out a lot. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter for up-to-date whining about minor things that annoy me, then you're in luck. My Twitter handle is @LCTRGames. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Take care.